As the neighbor country of Afghanistan, Pakistan has been following the situation in Afghanistan with great interest. Since the Taliban took over the power, many Pakistani journalists who crossed the border into Afghanistan have continued to bring us updates. Concerned about a possible war and refugee flows, we have been following the movements at the major border crossings between Pakistan and Afghanistan. As a resident journalist who has been based in Afghanistan for more than 2 years, I am well aware that there are still many internally displaced persons in Afghanistan at this moment. War and killing have long afflicted Afghan civilians as a byproduct of 20 years of United States occupation and involvement. I have also been thinking about what has caused the long-term instability in the country. First of all, Afghanistan is a sovereign country, and the issue of Afghanistan should follow the principle of Afghan-led and Afghan-owned. However, the motives of power politics, military intervention, and a so-called democratic transformation promoted by the US and its allies are inherently wrong. It has been proven that the arrogant power politics of the US has not made Afghan people feel the democratic care. Secondly, the US military claims to intervene in Afghanistan in the name of counterterrorism. Yet the US has spent $2 trillion over 20 years, only to see more and more terrorist groups emerge in Afghanistan. Ultimately, the US is not committed to solving Afghan's problems, but to satisfying the greed of its military-industrial complex and the strategic aims of Washington. The end of military intervention by the US and its allies should be the beginning of authentic responsibility. More than any other country, they have the obligation to provide economic, livelihood, and humanitarian assistance to the Afghan people. Not long ago, we visited Afghan refugee camps that have existed for decades in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad. Many Afghan refugees, without exception, expressed their desire to return to their homeland once the situation calmed down soon because, after all, no one wants to be a lifelong dependent. Many Pakistani friends also believe that Pakistan has sacrificed a lot for the so-called war on terror launched by the US for 20 years and has suffered from terrorism. It is time to end this situation. One of the things I feel most when talking about being a journalist in war-torn Afghanistan is the experience of interviewing Reza Rafat, the top scorer in the Afghan college entrance examination on 2017, who came out of Islam. As a young man who grew up amid war and poverty, Reza witnessed the turmoil of his country and the suffering of the compatriots. With this in mind, he applied for the medical major, determined to help his people in the future. I believe that if more and more young Afghans like Reza are willing to return to their country to build their land, then the future of Afghanistan will not be defeated.